Hi, and thank you for joining our discussion on proper disinfection and sanitization of structural firefighter PPE that has been exposed to or potentially exposed to COVID-19. I'm Anna Schlotterbeck, Senior Product Marketing Manager for Lion Total Care. I've put this presentation and this information together with the help and input from these three folks that you see here on this slide. Jim Baker, Vice President of Business Development for Lion Total Care, Karen Latonen, Vice President of Research and Development for Lion, and Lee Gaspard, Director of Operations for Lion Total Care. Both Jim and Karen currently sit on the NFPA 1851 committee and have helped tremendously in taking all of the information that's currently out there and assisting in boiling that down to this more consumable level that you'll see here in this presentation. So again, thank you to these three folks for helping out over the last week or so here. The goals of this presentation are to share with you some general guidelines regarding disinfection and sanitization put forth in the 2020 edition of the NFPA 1851 standard, as well as to share an effective disinfection and sanitization procedure that we are currently using in our Lion Total Care facilities. I'll also share with you a user checklist that can be used as a nice visual tool to ensure that the proper steps are being taken for disinfection and sanitization of exposed or contaminated gear. The overarching message here is that the safest, most effective way to sanitize and disinfect gear is to reach out to a verified ISP. Now, we know that that may not be an option for everyone based on factors such as location and distance from an ISP facility. When determining how to properly handle and disinfect and sanitize exposed gear, the NFPA 1851 standard, as well as your turnout manufacturer's user guide, are really good resources to reference in regard to just definitions around things such as cleaning, sanitization, disinfection, and specialized cleaning. The 1851 standard also outlines very well the impacts of using high temperature wash and the impacts of repeatedly washing at high temperatures and the ramifications that that could possibly have on turnout gear. Whenever possible, reference your turnout manufacturer's user guide for appropriate cleaning agents, sanitizers, or disinfectants. If you don't see this outlined in the user guide, feel free to reach out to your manufacturer for guidance. Here at Lion, we have dissected our user guide to just pull out that applicable cleaning and sanitizing information. Again, I'll share that with you via a link at the end of this presentation. If you're using a manufacturer other than Lion, I'm sure if you reach out to them as well, they would be more than happy to do the same. The NFPA 1851 standard also dictates that when it comes to sanitization, a laundry sanitizer with EPA registration should be used. So any sanitizer that you choose should also have its safety data sheet checked against the requirements put forth in NFPA 1851. One thing to keep in mind is that you want to steer clear of any product containing chemicals like sodium hypochlorite, ethanol, or isopropanol. Not only are these harmful to turnouts, they could also be harmful to the person performing the cleaning or even the wearer of the turnouts. We have done some cross-referencing here at Lion, and according to their safety data sheets, we've narrowed down that list and we've come up with about 6 different products that not only meet the guidelines of NFPA 1851, but also shouldn't harm your turnout gear if you use them as directed. Those are Maquat 128-MN, Maquat 64-NHQ, SC-NDC-128, Tech Air Control, Clean Smart, and Lysol Laundry Sanitizer. So I've gone ahead and taken the EPA approved sanitizer list And I have highlighted these 6 products that I just discussed, just to make it easier for you as you're perusing the list to pull out ones that you know meet the NFPA 1851 guidelines and also will not harm the turnout gear. We have done some preliminary testing on the Lysol laundry sanitizer, and it hasn't shown any negative impact on gear or gear components when used as directed. We can't, however, at this time make any definitive claims to its effectiveness on COVID-19. Again, as I said, I'll provide a link to the applicable NFPA 1851 excerpts, the Lion user guides, as well as that EPA-approved sanitizer list at the end of this presentation. So now I want to talk a little bit about the disinfection and sanitization procedure that we've put in place in our Lion Total Care facilities. Again, this is a procedure that you could perform in-house if reaching out to a verified ISP isn't possible where you are currently located. Again, you know, I just can't stress that enough, the importance of reaching out to that verified ISPA whenever possible. It's also very important to keep in mind that if you are using an ISP to disinfect and sanitize your contaminated gear, that you notify them before the gear is dropped off or picked up. Again, taking every precaution to keep those ISP employees safe as well as your employees safe. So the first thing that needs to happen is that the contaminated gear needs to be isolated. So you need to bag that and seal it in a biohazard bag. And then that's one set of gear per bag, by the way, one set of gear per bag. The outside of that bag should be sprayed with an antiviral, antibacterial spray. And then just to avoid any potential cross-contamination, that bag shouldn't be taken inside a fire station, a firehouse, or anywhere near any other gear or any people. So if you are working with an ISP, now would be the time to contact them to arrange pickup or drop off. As we know, biohazardous products can't be shipped via carriers such as FedEx, UPS, or USPS, so that gear will have to be either dropped off or picked up. If you are on a route with an ISP, if you're already on a scheduled route, reach out to them, let them know that you may have contaminated gear that needs to be transported so that when that driver shows up, they've got the proper PPE donned. So if you're performing the disinfection and sanitization in-house, again, back to the proper PPE, it should be donned by any personnel handling the exposed gear. Again, spray the outside of the bag with that antiviral, antibacterial spray. After that, prepare a decontamination barrel containing a solution of the EPA-approved sanitizer. Then you'll want to submerge the bag with the gear still inside. While submerged, open the bag so that the gear can become completely saturated. This next step is a very important step. You need to set a timer according to the soak time listed on the sanitizer instructions. Most of the sanitizers will outline what that soak time is, whether it's 10 minutes or 15 minutes, you know, whatever that may be. It is important that you set that timer and let that gear soak and be completely saturated for the duration of that time period. So once the soaking is done, remove the garments from the barrel. You can separate the liners from the outer shells and wash those separately per advanced cleaning instructions in the NFPA 1851-2020 edition. You don't want to forget about hard goods and other soft goods such as gloves and hoods. So when you're talking about hard goods such as helmets, boots, and goggles, these also need to be sanitized and disinfected, but they should be placed in a separate biohazard bag and sprayed with an antiviral, antibacterial spray. You then would proceed with the same decontamination barrel instructions. For other soft goods like gloves, hoods, and suspenders, Those can actually be placed in the same bio bag with the turnout coat and pants. And then that will also, clearly go through the same decontamination procedure. As I said, we have created a visual checklist to use as a tool to ensure that the correct steps are taken to properly sanitize and disinfect exposed or contaminated gear. This will be available for download off of our COVID-19 resources page on our lionprotects.com website, which I'll provide the link here. So as I said, additional resources as well as a copy of this presentation can be found here on this link on our Lion COVID-19 resources page. If you have additional questions, there's a form on the bottom of that web page. Just fill that out and someone will get back to you as soon as possible. If you needed to contact a Lion Total Care facility, there's also a Total Care service map located on that COVID-19 resources page as well. Please reach out to any of those site managers and they would be more than happy to assist. If you have any other questions that we didn't cover here, again, feel free to reach out to your Lion sales representative, your dealer sales representative, or again, just contact us via this web page and we'll be happy to assist. Again, thank you for your time and stay safe and stay healthy, everyone.